Hey folks, how you going? Skypilot here. Okay, hands up everybody who remembers this fabulous little drone, the Dji E88. I did a review on this a number of years ago, hundreds and thousands of views, and believe it or not, this thing actually still works and flies really well. You may be asking why I'm showing this old cheapy Dji E88. Well, JJRC have been doing some work as well, and have brought out something fairly similar, I think you will argue. This is the, yes, it's a cheap drone. This is the JJRC H118 E88 Pro, 2.4 gig wireless, etc, etc. And as you can see, it is sort of a little bit similar, sort of, tiny bit bigger. I'm going to see if this flies as well as the Dji does. I'm going to see how long it flies for. And I'm just going to run through some tech specs, see what you get in this package here. Nice little carry case from JJRC. Put it through its paces out in the field and answer one question. Is it worth buying? We're going to find out. Thanks for stopping by. JJRC, here we come. Be pretty quick here, and you don't really want to see what's in it, but I'll run through it anyway. QR code, which is always good for the app, so you can connect the controller drone to your mobile device. Quick start manual explaining controls and functions, etc, etc. A micro USB cable for charging, small screwdriver which we'll probably throw away, a couple of spare props and some prop guards. You can buy this actually with just the one battery or two. I've got two here. You get the remote controller, and the drone neatly folds up into this carry case so that you can take it wherever you want. What's this cheap drone all about? And I say cheap not being disrespectful to JJRC, they make some really good gear. And straight off, if you want to have a look into this while I'm talking or after the video, check out the link below. Many thanks to Banggood, that's where I got this drone from. Follow the links if you want to grab one for yourself. Hopefully I've got a code there to make it even cheaper. And when I say cheap drone, I do mean this is reasonably cheap. Around $40 Australian, so an absolute bargain for sure. Get one thing cleared up straight away. It's not 4K. These antennas don't work. It is a cheap budget drone. You want something for your kids that's easy to fly, it won't fly away too far because it doesn't fly too far, that won't chop your fingers off when you grab it. This is what you need to buy. If you want to do some specky footage with this on follow me, gesture, obstacle avoidance through the Andes, don't buy this. It won't be any good for you. It is a cheap drone and is such that a cheap drone, which is really good for beginners, and it's actually a really good fly, as you'll find out shortly. Arms fold out like the Mavic. What does she weigh in at? Upside down. The battery, 90.5 grams, so as you can see, nice and light. Have a quick look, quick chat about the quad. It does have a camera at the front here, 1080p, hopefully if we're lucky. A couple of little LEDs there which don't really do anything. Adjustable by hand, so no, you can't use the radio to adjust it. The rear, there's a light, there's a hole for the battery. In goes the battery. Long press the power button, she comes on and searches for the remote. Props, single screw to hold them in. No SD card slot, so you can't actually do any on-board recording. So all the recording is going to be via your mobile device, either screenshot or by using the app, which I'll show you shortly as well. And look, it is pretty much as basic as that, guys. So let's chuck that down. Onto the remote. Screw in the back, holding the battery cover there, 3 AA batteries. Doesn't come with it, of course. Up the front here, you've got your normal springy toggle sticks. You've got your pull-out bay, which, let's turn it on, pull-out bay, which will fit just about any mobile device. Hard plastic. The antennas here, which are not antennas, they do absolutely nothing at all other than make pictures look good for the internet. So you can do whatever you want with them, but They serve no purpose whatsoever. As you'll see in the last video I did where I ripped this apart and showed you guys exactly what's inside. Of course, I'll have links to those videos up the top there. Feel free to have a browse. On off button. We've got our speed controller 1, 2, 3. Left side fine tuning. Right side fine tuning. Here we've got 1 key ascending to go up, 1 key descending to land. And we have our backwards and forwards fine tuning. So fine tuning left, right. Forwards, backwards fine tuning in case it doesn't hover where you want it to. Because it doesn't have GPS obviously. So it's relying entirely on electronic mechanical hovering systems. And on the top here we have our flips and rolls, and of course the calibration there to calibrate. Startup's really simple. Turn the quad on, see a couple of LEDs light up there, and you can see the blue LED flashing on top. What that is saying is, where is my remote? Turn your remote on. You'll see a flashing light inside the remote there. This indicates battery power, I believe, but to show how reliable that is. To bind them both together, left stick up and down, and you'll see it's now flashing, and now it's solid. Sorry, that should be a solid blue. It's flashing because it's not level. Okay, solid blue, meaning we are good to fly, and it's simply a matter of left down left and right down right. Start it up, and we're ready to fly. If you want to kill it, just do that again. If you want to quick start it, you can push the joystick up. I believe we're running as well, doing it that way. Pull the joystick down on the left to stop it. Okay, I've just downloaded my QR code. So let's get the mobile hooked up and check out what's happening with the picture. Text and specs of this quad. Flight time, some people are saying it's 15-20 minutes, or yeah, that's pretty much garbage. Flight time, we're looking at probably around 7-8 minutes if you're lucky. Comes with 2 batteries, takes about probably 10-15 minutes for the batteries to charge up, so not a huge problem. These are 3.7 volt 1800 milliamp hour batteries. Small micro USB port here. Chuck them on your phone charger. Looking at a distance for this of about 80 to 100 meters, so I will test it out in the field very shortly, so stay tuned. We'll see how far this bird flies before it loses transmission, in which case it doesn't return to home, it simply falls to the ground. It does have altitude hold, as I said, so really good for beginners. Just fly it and leave it, and it sort of just floats around. It doesn't fly too well in the wind. It's really windy, don't bother, it's just going to be taken away as it's not super duper powerful. Very great for beginners if you want to get into FPV or drone flying. This is a must for sure. There's our app. What we need to do is, first thing you need to do is turn everything on. You need to hook it up to your Wi-Fi, so you need to go into settings of your mobile device and have a look for your drone, which is Wi-Fi 8K. Once you've hooked that up, jump back into your mobile device, and as we can see, we have a picture transmitting and we are good to fly. Let's go to our start. So we can take photos, we can run video, we can look at our photos. I think that does flips and rolls, tells us our 60%, tells us our flying speed, so we got our 30%, 60 or 100. Reverse joystick, so you can actually control this. Well, I'll just turn it on. You can control it from your mobile device instead of sticking these two together if you want. Personally, I don't like doing that. And we got some other options here which I have no idea what they are. Oh, we can put music into our videos if we wish to do so. But I'm going to be mainly looking at the record function, little timer there, recording our picture, seeing how she turns out in hopefully something that resembles 1080p. Pretty much it in a nutshell. Pretty basic, guys, pretty short, sharp, shiny. Let's get outside, run down the oval, see how this thing flies. Everything is switched on. Let's hit the record button so they can hopefully we're recording our footage. Yes, we are. Let's take off. And straight away it's flying away because of the wind, so Need to take a check of that. Do a little bit of trim work here. Super robust, easy to fly. I must check these batteries. I'm pretty sure they're fully charged. It is an idea to charge them up just before you head out. They do tend to storage drain for some reason. Like I said, it doesn't take too long to charge them. These conditions aren't good. I really want to get out here and show you guys how she hovers and how it listens. Yeah, nice little flyer. See if I can just slow things down a bit and just do a quick range test down on the oval there. I will actually fly it until I lose transmission, whether it's... Oh, no, I've lost control. Oh no, I've regained control. Okay. Line of sight, a little bit tricky. I think my camera's facing the wrong way, so let's do a little bit of work there and get that camera facing the right direction. Miles too windy, but I'm going to do it anyway. Let's send it. Let's see how far she goes. Oh yeah, wind. At least it's a wind test as well. Sort of lost control there. It's at about 50 meters. It's doing its own thing. At least it's not shooting off into the sky. It's sort of just hovering around. Let's see if I can go a bit further. Battling with the wind. Okay, now I've completely lost control, and I think I'll see if I can land it safely. Okay, let's go get him. You can see it's probably about, it's probably about 80-90 meters away, so a fair distance. Wouldn't suggest you guys flew it that far, as you can see. That means you've got to go for a walk to retrieve it. So it does have altitude hold, so it means, yeah, you can just sort of sit it there and not worry about controlling it. Just see if we can mess around with the trim a bit. You do need to play with the trim of these when you first get them. They tend to do their own thing. A little bit of a breeze here, it doesn't help. You can see that footage there, looks pretty good. Doesn't look 1080p. Of course you're going to have to fly it nice and slowly if you want some rock steady footage. Otherwise, as you can see, she's just going to twitch all over the place. Okay, let's try a flip and a roll before our batteries go flat, because as we know, they don't last very long. You can see, guys, from the footage from the drone, flies really nicely, super smooth. Beginners, yeah, absolutely fabulous. Let's do a little bit of a range test, shall we? See how far that footage will take us before it blacks out. That's about 30 meters, 40, still got control, 50. Oh no, she's starting to dip. No, I'm starting to lose it. I wouldn't go much further than that. Ooh, it sort of tends to go off on its own when you lose signal, so be wary of that, folks. And what would one of my tests be without a height test? Okay, let's head over here into the wind a bit and let's take her up. No, it's sort of doing what it wants to do. Oh, wouldn't do that too much, guys. Okay, danger Will Robinson. So if you want to get some steady footage, stick it on number 1. Otherwise it twitches around way too much. I don't know if it's going to have the power to come back with the wind. No, no, come on, come on. It doesn't like the wind, guys. hide it. That's it. Here we go. What a trooper. We're getting low on power. Normally what happens when we fight the wind. Oh, it's a nice little flyer, guys. And that's what happens when it runs out of power. It simply falls straight to the earth. Quick roll. There we go. So yeah, to do the roll, you push the roll button and you slide the stick either left or right, depending on which way you want it to flip. She's a smooth, steady flyer. You can fly this around the house really well. In the open field, just be careful you don't go too far. Beginners, 10 out of 10. Experts, yeah, you might get bored pretty quick, but for the price, it gives a hoot. Nice little unit. JJRC, thanks very much. I'll see you next video. Lots of fun. See you soon, guys. Bye for now.